The presentations I've done at the conference so far have been setting the scene for the whole conference, so really just outlining some of the issues involved with wildland, posing some of the challenges to the conference delegates, what we're going to do about it, designation, developing policy, responding to some of the threats to do with wildland. But principally this afternoon at the conference I'm going to be presenting work on participatory mapping, because one of the central issues about designation of wildland is really finding out where it is. I mean, we all have a rough idea of what we're talking about in terms of wildland and a good feeling for where wildland is, but to be able to map it accurately and pinpoint it on a map is tremendously important to help us actually start to develop policy and designation, so that we can actually say this is wildland and we need to protect it as wildland for its essential qualities. And when I say protect it, I mean protect it from development, protect it from external influences such as renewable energy, from hill tracks, and from general environmental stress. And we've obviously got a baseline policy in terms of the Scottish Natural Heritage 2002 policy document, but that really doesn't go far enough in terms of saying, well, this is where wildland is. So policy needs to really push forward in terms of designation, of identifying areas of Scotland which are wild and protecting them as such, because unless you can actually almost put a line on a map and say this is high quality core wildland area, and acknowledge that there is a buffer zone around that of maybe less wild areas, but that which sits between the core and agricultural and other human influenced landscapes. Unless you can put that line on the map, you're at danger of slow erosion from, as I said, like developments like hill tracks and wind farms and other intrusive human infrastructure. So it's a matter of being able to say what it is, where it is, and protect it as such for perpetuity for future generations. Wildland's important for a whole series of reasons. One is its intrinsic value. Wildland has a right to exist on its own without human interference. But we as humans derive a lot of benefit from wildland, from places for recreation, for places just to relax and gain inspiration. But then there's this whole argument which has come about recently about ecosystem services. This idea that wildlands are a source of clean water, of clean air, of carbon storage, carbon sinks, sequestration, pollution sinks, wildlife habitats, all of those things as well. We derive benefit from wildland, and they're important to preserve for that reason.